No more incessant beeping. Look at that. All right. We should be ready to get started in a moment. Exciting. I have the soundtrack to Dark City stuck in my head. That was an interesting movie. Anybody ever see Dark City? It's like The Matrix, but better. And before The Matrix ripped off Dark City, that is. Very interesting movie. All right. So today we have a machine that's not seeing the battery. There's an X on the battery. So we're going to go over what can cause this. And we started going over it yesterday before I started getting trolled. And hopefully today I don't get trolled. Hopefully today I can show you exactly what causes this. And we can actually fix it on camera rather than having a stream that's an entire waste of time. So typically what happens, and I've explained this yesterday, is that when people go to replace the battery on this, they will use a metal pry tool. And the metal pry tool will do something like this. So over here, we have battery 12-volt line. Over here, we have signal line that's 3 volts. So when somebody does this and they go to get the battery out, they send their 12 volts to their 3-volt data line, and it goes poof. So, well, what's affected by this? That's an excellent question. And if you didn't have that question, I would wonder why you were even watching. So, how do we answer that question? Well, let's look at the schematic and the board view on the screen. So we go over here, we go over to the battery connector, SM bus SMC 5G3 SDA. So SM bus SMC 5G3 SDA SMC ISL. Damn, I've got that stuck in my head. Why won't it talk to the battery? Da da da. What something way with me? Make me charge. Make me far. Make me charge. All right. So over here we have the SMC talking to the battery charger chip and the battery on that data line, which is pulled up by R5280 and R5281. R5280 is going to go to the data line. R5281 is going to go to the clock line. And this resistor pulls these lines up so that they're 3.42 volts at all times. And whenever these chips want to talk, what they do is they're going to short it to ground. So think of it like a little, what's that thing called? Telegraph, telegram, something, whatever. The thing that you would use to send Morse code where you tap it with your finger. So you go, dan, 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 dan. What that thing was doing, imagine the same thing's going on here. So you have a constant and every time which is the 3.42 volts. And every time the SMC wants to talk to the battery wants to talk to the SMC to say something like, yo, I'm 1%, charge me. Or, hey, I'm 100%, you can stop charging me now. Or, hey, I'm 50%, tell the user I'm 50%. It's going to go, damn, and it's going to bring that 3.42 volt line down to ground. But sometimes when you send 12 volts to a 3 volt data line, it destroys everything in the data line. And if it destroys everything in the data line, then it's not going to work. So let's get an idea of whether or not this data line is working as it's intended. Now, the SMC is going to talk to the battery charger chip, which is U7000. And U7000 is going to create a power rail called Pepe Bus G3 Hot. That's why I have a little Pepe on the back of my chair here. Not sure if you could see, but that little Pepe on the back of my chair is there because in this machine, all the power rails start with a Pepe Bus. So we got Pepe Bus G3 Hot. And that is a 12.56 volt power rail. But if the SMC cannot talk to this chip on its data line, it will be a 12.23 volt power rail. The SMC has high standards. It says, I don't want to talk to no ISL 6259 that's only giving me 12.2 volts. I want the entire 12.56 volts. But if it can't communicate with that, we can assume there's something wrong with the line. So let's take a look where that would be. That would be on pins 10 and 11 of U7000. So if we go and check, we can measure on these 2 pins. Now, one thing that I like to measure is use something called Diode Mode on the multimeter. Diode Mode is it's much faster at giving an instant result than resistance mode. And it's going to tell me something. It's going to give me the voltage drop to ground at those points. And here we have the data line and the clock line. Data line, clock line, data line, clock line. So let's measure. Hi from South Africa, says the Liamerator. Is all the crazy stuff I hear people saying about South Africa actually happen there or fake news? You tell me, Liamerator. I'm curious. So we're going to do this. What do we get here in Diode Mode? In Diode Mode, we get 0.521. I typically expect something around 0.441, but that's good enough. It's not shorted to ground. Within that range of 0.441 and whoa, beep, 0.013. Well, there we go. Something's wrong here. So where does that go to? What could potentially be shorting our 5281 to ground? Well, thanks to Paul Daniels, who created this excellent software. You can find him on pldaniels.com. When we click on any point in the board, it will show us everywhere that goes. So a big thank you to Paul Daniels there. Okay, so let's check. So it could be this, which is the battery level indicator. On these machines, they have a little thingy on the side that when you click it, it will ask the battery how much power is left in it, and then it will light up these bars. And that could be shorted to ground. But that's unplugged, so I'm not going to blame that because it's not even plugged in. What else could it be? Well, let's take a look. What else could it be that's be sticking this to ground? It could be the battery itself. I've tried a new battery, so it ain't that. It could be the charging chip, the ISL 6259. Always be that. Or it could be the SMC, which has 90-something little balls. Boo. So, which do you think it's going to be that's shorted to ground? The chip that I can replace in 90 seconds or the chip with 96 little balls? Well, in order to figure out which one is shorted to ground, there's a couple of things I can do. I can inject 3.42 volts into that clock line and see what gets warm. But in the amount of time that it will take me to inject voltage into that clock line and see what gets warm, I could just remove the ISL. This is a binary thing, and I know that we're not into binary, yes, no, 1, 0, male, female anymore, but this is a very, very simple thing. It can be either the SMC or the ISL. One or the other. It can't be both. Actually, it can be both. God, I hope it's not. But there's only 2 things that could be shorted here. So what I could do, rather than waste time injecting voltage into the data line, I could just remove the easy-to-replace chip, which is the ISL 6259. If it's no longer shorted, I know to replace the ISL. If it is still shorted, I know to replace the SMC, which I'm hoping I don't have to do. So let's get to work and figure this out. So the ISL 6259, which it could be, which it could be, is over here, right there. Show your sexy self, ISL 6259. Come on down, because they're going to burn you off of my board. Damn straight. You got no place on my board anymore, ISL 6259. You're about to go. Now, I feel like the ISL is to blame. And the reason I feel like the ISL is to blame is it's got this little thingy by it. It's got packing tape that's yellow. And it was pointing to the chip. It was pointing this way. So I think that this little piece, my little fuzzy friend over here, is trying to tell me that the fault lies with the ISL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit of flux, a teeny tiny bicicleta, as Cartman would say, amount of flux around the chip to help us remove it and go from there. All right? Then we're going to turn on my hot air station. Are you looking for a hot air station? Buy a quick 861DW on store.rossmangroup.com. Why delay? Buy today. Free same-day shipping from New York City to any address within the continental United States. Alrighty. So, I got my fume extractor in place. That's my fume extractor, because I don't want to inhale any of this stuff. And I've got my hot air station on. And it's time to remove some ISL 6259. Get off my board. Will Screen Country ever sell the Bay Area 1502 screen? I don't want to buy the entire assembly when the internal LCD is what I need. Such a pain in the dick model, a laptop to 2014 Retina. No, they won't, and neither will most places. So I used to buy that screen for something like $85 to $90. And you may think that's a great deal, but they came with no warranty, and sometimes the entire box would be bad. So I bought, like, you know how painful it is to go through 20 screens with no warranty that you wire transferred and not be able to get warranty. But anyway, they're not available anymore. So I want, for example, the A1398, 2012 through 14. We bought, I think, 300 of that screen at $90. And now, if you want to buy that screen, it's $300-something. So it doesn't make sense for anybody to sell that when it's so expensive. And there's also the fact that the older the machine gets, the less people perceive it to be worth. Therefore, the less they're willing to spend to fix it. Therefore, the increasing cost of part with decreasing... Why am I using such a low heat? The increasing cost of part with the decreasing worth of the device makes it less worthwhile to stock that stuff. For some reason, I had my quick set to something like 300. That was silly. So yeah, they're probably never going to stock it again. And it really sucks, because I would like to stock those so that I could go back to fixing people's stuff, but not much I can do. Is Puerto Rico included in shipping area? Depends on whether USPS charges me double to ship to Puerto Rico. That's really what it comes down to. So, we're going to see what we get. Let's see if we get anything different. So I'm going to go back to that area that was shorted to ground, which was the clock line. Put this over here. Put this over here. No! It's the SMC. You should change your... Yeah. I never have my Twitch set properly. I changed it to IRL. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see. Twitch... What? Oh, it didn't change the title. Oh, crap. I didn't change the title. I thought I hit update. I'm dumb. Or did I? It says that I changed the title. It didn't change the title? Oh, well, what am I going to do? I tried. I thought Restream changed the title. Bah. Yeah. You piece and pile. IRL, but there are no boobs on the screen. It can't be IRL. You saying that these don't count? Are you saying that these don't count? You better not be saying that those don't count. My boobs matter. All right, so it looks like we have an SMC donor pile here. And they don't exactly look nice. These boards have holes in them, but we're going to reball an SMC. I wash my hands, get some gloves on, and boo-hoo. And you're going to see why when someone says, but it's just the fuse, right? Like, why does it cost so much money? It's just not recognizing the battery. It's like a fuse, right? It's like a fuse, right? Yeah. So I'm probably going to wind up linking this video to people that want to know why I don't do this for like 20 bucks. So you'll get to watch and see. Someone says man boobs don't count. Mine do. Mine count. Hopefully after this I can get myself some nice empanadas or dinner. Do like empanadas. Some of those Colombian empanadas. All right, I have an incentive to get this SMC right on the first try. There's no ESD magic today. So, first thing to do, get the SMC off of the donor board and reball it. That's what we got to start with here. Reballing. Reballing. All right. Like watching you prove Genius Bar wrong while drunk. Classic. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to preheat this. So as you may be able to see here, I'm preheating from further away. Just want to get the board ready. Don't want to shock it too much. Now I'm going to try to preheat while I read your chat. I'm sure that nothing will go wrong there. I'm confident that there should absolutely no problem reading a chat while soldering. It should go fine. Should go great. No problem at all. Beautiful. All right. Hi from Tunisia. Wow. The viewers all over the place. Look at that. All right. So after that preheating, I should be able to remove this junk around the SMC. This is the edge bonding. And I'm not removing it properly. This is not the way you should remove it if you're trying to reflow it. You want to remove it to where there's none under the chip, and I didn't do a good job of that here. Part of that is because I don't really care. I'm going to be ripping the SMC off of the board, not reflow it, so I don't care if I have some of that stuff under it. So we're going to add some flux, some Amtech NC559 V2TF. By the way, we have flux on sale. And if you want to buy flux that's a little older, you can get an even greater sale. So check out store.rossmangroup.com. Prices have gone down on flux. Limited time only. Get yours today. While supplies last, all that good stuff. I'm going to try this extra large nozzle as well. I got myself a larger nozzle for the quick. This is pretty good for doing stuff like SMCs. See this? Look, I could practically fit my picky finger in that nozzle. Look at that. That nozzle is huge. So I'm just going to let the quick cool off for a second and put this nozzle on. I think this is 12.7 millimeters, something like that. I'm really concerned about the Doge. Where is he? The Doge is still here. He's just been moved on to the ultrasonic cleaner. See? That's my happy little Doge. Happy little Dogecoin. He fell off of the chair somehow. So he's now on the cleaner. Where did I have my camera before? Was it here? So, let's move this over. All right, so, okay. Put on my nozzle, snap it in there. Get my heat game on. Do you ship to the Netherlands? Absolutely. We ship everywhere, just not free outside the continental US. So. USA to Europe is expensive shipping. Indeed it is. Love my bent nozzles. Loving my bent nozzles. Ah! Come back, SMC. I'm getting trolled by my bent nozzle. I got my beautiful little SMC. Okay. Next up is my SMC jig and stencil and all that good stuff. How long would it take to ship to the Netherlands? I have absolutely no idea. International shipping sucks. There's absolutely no way to tell what the time frame will be. There are no guaranteed time frames unless you use really expensive shipping, like FedEx or Express stuff, so no idea. Sometimes a week, sometimes 2 weeks, sometimes a month. International shipping sucks. All right. Next. All right, so we got the SMC in there, and you can see this is an important one, especially if you're going to be doing any type of reflowing. Notice if you don't get the rubber thing off in one piece, that it'll be under the chip. And the problem is that it'll actually combine with the balls and expand. So if you are trying to reflow the SMC, you have to be much more careful than I was when removing that edge bonding. See, right over here? Combined. No good. All that stuff's going to burn away in a moment, so I don't really have to care. But it's still just something it's good to be aware of if you're practicing and if you want to use it to reflow. How do you know SMC is working from the donor board? That's an excellent question. I don't, which is what makes SMC jobs go to the bottom of the pile. So I could replace this SMC, and it could still not work because the SMC from the donor board is not good. So what I do is I try to buy those boards that have the holes in them. I don't buy boards that people have used. I try to avoid buying donor boards that have any type of history, because they could have history of somebody trying to replace their battery and screwing it up like this one. The donor board could have a history of liquid So avoid buying boards that have a history. Buy the ones on AliExpress and Alibaba that have the holes in them, because those are the ones that typically were just failed from manufacturing or something. You want to buy that stuff. I'm just going to change the soldering iron tip so that I can scrape away. Actually, I won't have to. Yeah, I'm trying to scrape away some of these points where the solder won't stick to the pads, but it seems like that's all good. It's all good. It's beautiful. Okay, so we're going to take some wick. Looking for solder wick that works great? Get Goot Wick from store.rossmangroup.com. Wick that has flux built in, making it easy to remove the solder from your pads. Flatten your pads today using wick from store.rossmangroup.com. Bam. Look at them flat pads. Alrighty. Now, if I were using solder balls to reball this, I'd have to make sure that I got them all flat because the balls would all be the same size. One of the cool things about using solder paste and why I like solder paste so much is that if there is already solder on the pad, then less paste will fit into the hole and it will even itself out. So I don't really have to care as much about the complete accuracy of getting perfectly flat pads as I would with balls. Please refocus the camera. Oh, it seems focused. We're going to clean off my balls, clean off my pads. SMC. That's funny. Okay. We're going to make this a beautiful little SMC. Look at that pretty little SMC. Okay, now we got a stencil. My stencil has still got some solder balls on it, so we're just going to scrape all that away, make it nice and flat. Beautiful. This stencil needs to get taped down. So I'm going to use some Captain tape to tape it down. Clean your balls. Always clean your balls. Always clean your pads before you place on your balls. All right. I achieve the rank of Captain Tape. I use my Captain tape. I identify as a captain. All right. Somebody said, have you achieved the rank of captain yet? How dare you question my captain? You also sell the stencils. I do. Come on. Come on, solder paste. Come on out. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is satisfying. Oh, that is satisfying. Come on out. Beautiful. Beautiful. Lovely. Mwah. All right, let's get that SMC to swallow that paste. Come on, swallow it into the holes. Gorgeous. Beautiful. Mwah. Cannot get a new SMC chip. you can buy new SMCs, but they don't have the programming. And here's actually something I talked about with Pennsylvania. This guy from Pennsylvania Public Radio that came to interview. It was pretty cool because he asked a lot of questions, and then it was funny because the guy... Yeah, anyway, I'll just turn this off for a second. So this guy comes from Pennsylvania Public Radio, really nice guy, did a really nice long interview, asked a lot of good questions, and he said, well, so why don't you get the stuff from Apple, or why don't you become Apple authorized so that you can get access to these parts? Because I contacted Apple, and they said, we don't understand why he doesn't just become an Apple certified center, because then he could just get these parts. A, you can't. You can only buy the full motherboard by itself, and most people don't want to pay for that for, well, obvious reasons. Now, the SMC chip itself, I can buy a new one, but I have to program it. They don't come with programming. Now, you may think, okay, well, why don't you just read the programming off of the original SMC and put it onto this one? If I try to read the programming off of the original SMC, it will erase itself. It's like one of those terrorists that Jack Bauer's right about to capture, and he's like, where's the bomb? Tell me, now! And then the guy eats a cyanide pill so that nobody can figure out where the bomb is. The terrorist would rather die than give Jack Bauer the information on where the bomb is, the same way that the SMC, the little MacBook SMC, would rather kill itself than give me its programming that allows the new SMC to talk to the battery. Just one of those things to think about when you buy an Apple product, the extent to which they go through to ensure that if you want to get it fixed, you're screwed. But anyway, back to this. That was a very good question, though. Why don't you just buy a new SMC? It's a good thought. And, you know, again, because I get a lot of comments, particularly on Reddit, I get a lot of comments saying, like, this guy is just an asshole that is anti-Apple and blah, blah, blah. And I've never been one of those people that's going to say, like, I don't use words like MacFag and any of that nonsense because I think they're immature and they're dumb. And I hate that a lot of the following that I have is people that just, you know, they get off on using those words and saying stupid stuff like that. It's really not... You know, I understand that a lot of people use these machines because they make money with them. I understand that a lot of people use these machines because it makes their life easier. And I'm not going to tell you what it is you should use. You should use what, if you're using it for personal use, use the device that allows, you know, that makes you happy. And if it's for professional use, whoops, my balls are coming out of the holes. If it's for professional use, then use the device that is going to help you get your work done as quickly and as efficiently as possible. I don't care what you use. You know, it's not like it's not like I'm going to make fun of people who choose to use Apple. It's just what I make fun of and what I focus on is the way they treat customers that want to get something fixed and the way they design things so that when they die in this type of manner, which is lame. Come on. Melt. Melt. I'm not gonna get it on the first try because I'm hungry. It usually works that way. If I'm hungry and I want to get food, the first try doesn't work. But we'll see. Maybe I'll get lucky. Melt. Alright. Missing one ball. Let's see if I can get one ball. You're anti third-party repair. Yeah, that's. I think that's accurate. Like, I'm anti-Apple to the extent that I think it would be... Wouldn't it be nice if they gave their customers better options? Or wouldn't it be nice if they not even really supported I'm not even asking that you support third-party repair. All I'm asking is that you don't program the chips on your motherboard to kill themselves when I tried to read them. You don't even have to give me the programming. I'm not even going to say that Apple should allow me to buy a $3,000 device that allows me to program the chip. I'm not even asking for that. You know, don't even put any effort into me. Just when you put effort into setting it up so that the device, the chip on the device kills itself and doesn't read, and it won't read properly when I try to read it, that's really lame. And I think that that's really unnecessary. Thanks for the soldering porn. Have a beer afterwards. Greetings from Germany. Thank you to Miguel. I appreciate that. And I think it's something that customers who are dropping $3,000 on these devices that use them in mission-critical settings should know. Because from the industry I came from, this stuff is really important. You know, and if Apple actually... I don't expect Apple to do all this stuff in-house, but it would be nice if they made it easier for the people who want to help the customers that they cannot. You know? All right, so. Any tips on where to pick up a replacement battery for an A1342 that isn't garbage? Probably doesn't exist. When they've been out of production for that long, it's likely that every battery you find is going to be garbage. All right. So next up, I got to take the board out of this machine so that I can solder on the SMC. I don't want to burn the clutch cover. If I try to solder the SMC right now, the heat is going to burn this plastic clutch cover, and I want to avoid that. So we're going to take the board out of the machine, go from there. Uh-oh. Really should get another chat monitor. Do you sell things in person in New York? Yeah, if you buy on the website first. So you buy on the site, choose local pickup, and you can come pick them up. We don't sell everything, but we sell a lot of stuff. Da, 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 da. Where do you get a squeeze bottle? Probably Paul got that for me, actually. I'm not sure where Paul got it from. If I put a replacement battery in an A1502 and it shows as not charging after resetting the SMC, is the battery dead or the SMC bad? Oh, that's a good one. Well, first thing I would do is check the current sensing circuit around the ISL 6259. Check if Pepe Bus G3 hot is 12.23 volts or 12.56 volts. Check my video on battery recognition and charging, which should be on the channel homepage. I'm trying to clean that page up. My channel homepage is a bit of a mess, and I want to make it nicer and easier for people to organize. I mean, people to find basic issues by organizing it a little better. That's a project of mine that I've been working on. I had way too many playlists on YouTube, so I should have fewer playlists. So it's just, you know, like no backlight, not charging battery, not recognizing battery, PM sleep S4L missing, running slow, turns on but no brain, no image. You know, I'm trying to organize the playlist and make it easier for you to find the specific fix to your specific issue. But you should find that in the battery charging circuit. All right, so that's my SMC. We're going to remove it, repeal it, replace it. We're going to take that SMC. We're going to take that SMC. We don't need due process. You know, take the SMC first, worry about the due process later. Replace the SMC first, worry about the due process later. I made the only girl on the OM team cry today. Well, from what you tell me, Jessa, if the world is correct according to Jessa Jones, girls always cry. And I'm not surprised, because Jessa, you can be mean and brutal. Sometimes you being mean and brutal is bad, but sometimes you being mean and brutal and honest is welcoming. So, Jessa, can you tell the audience here how it is you made somebody cry? I'm curious. Okay, we've preheated a bit. We're going to remove that edge bonding. Oh, shit. Did you see that? Did you see that? 1, 2, no. Oh, really? Really? That happened on live camera, didn't it? That just happened on camera. That just happened on camera. Great job, dumbass. Great job. I'm sure people are just going to be rushing to send you their stuff after watching that. Oh, well, it's fixable. We're going to fix it. Let's take off the SMC work first. Let's take off the SMC first. Whoops. As one of the students said a long time ago, it's all about turning oops into give me a minute. Jessa said she was failing. I advocated for her and convinced the team to put her in the role that she wanted. She was nervous and shy and doing baby talk during the performance, says Jessa. I gotta get used to this bigger nozzle. I'm not used to having a big nozzle. I spent most of my life with a small nozzle. I have a small nozzle. Explains why I'm fixing logic boards on Saturday night in New York City. Anyway, so let's get rid of the solder balls under there. We're just going to have a nice big leaded solder ball under there. And now all of that should be leaded solder, which is going to be easier to suck up. So then Jessa said, so Jessa says after she told the girl that she should stop using baby talk after Jessa advocated for her to have the better position in the team, that she should stop using baby talk and not take a walk until she could be serious. Are you kidding? Really? 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 I would expect my own employees to cry if I talked to them the way that you talk to a little girl. It's men keeping women out of engineering, isn't it? It's men keeping women out of STEM field, not women that tell 5-year-old adorable little girls, yeah, come back when you can learn to be serious. Jessa! Shame. Shame. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure Jessa was a little nicer than that. Sometimes Jessa can be wickedly mean. Jessa's got this thing about her where she can be wickedly mean, and it's funny because it happens it happens when you wouldn't expect it. Like, there are times where there are these people that deserve to be told to go F themselves, and Jess is very nice. And then we're just sitting in a restaurant, ordering a quesadilla, and Jessa goes, like, we'll just look and say, why is this thing sitting on the table? This is dumb. I don't want this. No, take this back. I don't want this. And I'm like, why are you being so mean? Why are you being mean to the waitress? Why are you being mean? But it's interesting. Jess is a character. You should go see it. If you're interested in learning cell phone component level board repair and data recovery, you should take her class. She's a character. You won't regret it. MendonIPadRehab.com. You could also check out her YouTube channel. Same thing. It's iPad Rehab. She does a lot of really cool fixes. Mendon iPad Rehab. Just don't buy a quick from her. Buy the quick from me. Watch her videos, but buy the quick from me. Alright. How would you get rid of gallium from a solder tip? Is this the part where you make fun of the fact that I have to Google that word to figure out what it is? Because I don't know what that is off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm showing my... Like, I'm having my Gary Johnson Aleppo moment right now. I'm going to look at that later and go, oh, gallium. I felt bad when that happened to Gary Johnson. It's not that I thought that he would have been a great candidate, but, you know, I forget things all the time. Huh. Sorcel says, thanks to your videos, I was able to rescue an HP ProBook 440 G3 from a T-spill death. Since I don't have my hands on an ultrasonic cleaner, I used an electronic cleaner and a plastic scraper, removing bridges from caps and resistors. Huh. Well, I mean, what do you mean bridges? I mean, I'm glad that you were able to get something to work again. Good job. Good stuff. But at the same time, I'm kind of curious. What do you mean removing bridges with... what do you mean removing bridges with that? I mean, something... You should use an ultrasonic cleaner to clean off your flux and stuff at the end or clean off corrosion, but if you have a solder bridge, that's not going to do it. You all should check. Who is the channel of the person that's the phone repair? iPad Rehab. Check out her channel, iPad Rehab. It's a good channel on YouTube. She live streams regularly. I've tried to buy a quick from you, but you didn't answer the email. I don't know who you are. An Englishman in Brazil. I don't remember your email. I mean, the only time I don't answer email is when it's like, can I get cheaper? Or like, how I check out. You have no idea, and I was talking to Jason about this today. We get so many emails from people that... That's what I get for shit-talking him. We'll get somebody like, hey, I want to buy this. How I check out? It's, you know... So if you sent an email like that, there's a chance that I didn't reply to it just because I don't have the patience for it. You know, but I'm not sure what you said because I don't really know what your email was. But I was surprised to see that Jason at Micro Soldering Supply gets a lot of the same emails that I do. Like, how do I check out? It's like, or we typically answer every email. Vomit bridges. Huh. Was tea and sugar bridge on solder? Huh. I got 3 more things to put back on. Oh dear. That has some of the edge bonding around it. Oh well. These tweezers are bent, I think. They are bent, aren't they? Ha! I'm making this unnecessarily difficult. Do you drink coffee in the morning? No, I don't like coffee. I don't like the taste of coffee one bit. I think it's terrible. It smells bad, too. Every time somebody spills coffee in a room, on a desk, it's a stench afterwards, then I... F. I should get some tweezers that aren't bent. Link. How did it mix? Okay. I should get myself a better set of tweezers. Fine tip tweezers are a human right. I should just get it. I should just have it. I should just get it. Like for free. I should just have fine tip tweezers just appear. Because I'm so special. Okay. Let's clean this area off with alcohol before we put some fresh flux. Fresh flux is a human right. And get that all put over here. Beautiful. Let's see what my SMC looks like. Do we have all our balls? Proper solder balls are a human right. And baha, they're all there. Now I just got to get the orientation of it correct. Bada bing, bada boom. Now remember, all of the work that I just did, everything I just did could be completely worthless if the donor board that I bought had a bad SMC on it. So if this donor board was thrown away because it had a bad SMC, all of that work was for nothing. Just saying, since I get a lot of comments saying, it's just a fuse, right? It doesn't recognize the battery. It's going to be easy to fix, right? Just show. So, let's back to our regularly scheduled program. Pre-programmed SMCs are a human right. I see a solder ball on the left, but that's not going to take me down. We're going to preheat it from further away first, and we're going to go on it later. Close. Game Boy Geniuses, we're going to get Lewis new tweezers and make Jessup pay for it. Damn straight. Alright, what I do is I wait for the flux puddle to go get sucked inside the chip. Once a lot of the flux has burned away and there's only flux left on the underside of the chip, then I go in closer with my heat By the way, that's the real way that you set the temperature that you're using. You set it by distance. And then when I move it around a little and I can see that the SMC has moved, I know that the SMC is in place. And then I take it away. Like so. Like bam. What is the official excuse for self-destructing SMCs, and does it have merit? Honestly, my best guess would be something related to if the SMC doesn't self-destruct when you try to read the firmware, people will try to create Hackintoshes, which already appears to be happening. That's my best guess. That's really the only thing that I can imagine that would be used as an argument for the SMC killing itself. And yes, I realize I forgot some resistors on the side. Give me a break. Give me a break, will ya? Okay. MA says, so basically the excuse is BS and has no real merit. I think, again, they're allowed to do whatever they want. So, you know, if they want to have SMCs that kill themselves when you try to read the programming, I'm fine with it. So, but as long as the consumers know and they stop masquerading themselves as this green company. You know, if you want to make a... God, this is not my day for that. If you want to make a product that has a chip that you need for it to function, that kills itself when you try to read it, that's totally fine. Like, go for it. Just don't post on your site about how you're all green and you care about the environment and you care about sustainability and love Trump's hate and all that kind of stuff when that's what you do. You know, as I had this video from a while back from a fellow that I used to work with named Dino, and he had this saying called, if you're going to be the bitch, be the whole bitch. And the idea is, you know, if you're going to do something that's evil or wrong, at the very least own it. Or if you're going to do something controversial, at the very least own what you're doing. Don't try to pretend that what you're doing is for virtuous reasons or because you care. You know, live an honest life, I suppose, would be a way to express what Dino thought about the world. Come on. I gotta say, I love the Quick, but this thing that they use to... This nozzle remover is a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes. Come on. I would love to do the Dino interview, actually, even at 330k subs. Alrighty. Well, let's wait for this to cool off a little bit. Have you ever repaired a Cinco phone? I've never even heard of a Cinco, C-I-N-C-O phone. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do to see if this SMC is any better than what I had before is check my diode mode measurement. Down there. This flux is not conductive for the person who asked. Good question. And put my red probe on ground, my black probe here, and I'm expecting to get something like 0.441, a 0.5 something. And I get 0.598, all right, expected. See, that sucks. Still shorted. Interesting. Okay, well, is it the SMC that I put on that is shorted? Or something else? So it's interesting, we still have the short circuit that we had before. I should have checked to see if that short circuit was gone when I took the SMC off of the board. That would have probably been smart. Well, what's this? What are you over here? Well, you're burned looking, but you're not for the SMC. Oh. 330K, even if you don't really care about YouTube, you should be really proud. Plus, at least you know you're not crazy. 330K. No way. Oh, wow. 330K. All right. Well, what is on that line, really? What is on that line? What else is there? The ISL 6259, the battery indicator, the resistor, this, the SMC. Oh, no way. Don't tell me I got trolled by the diode. Oh my, I will scream if I got trolled by the diode. Or this cap. No way. No way. It's never those. It's never those. Oh, I got trolled by the... Oh my god, I did all that and it was this the whole time. Lol. Okay, this is just me making a dumbass of myself. So remember when I said that a lot of people say, why does it cost so much when it's so little work? It's funny, it's funny. And I deserve this. I deserve this for being an arrogant prick. I earned it. This is the 1 in 50 repairs, the 1 in 100, where it's actually some stupid little cap and not the SMC. I deserve that. I really earned it. Like I earned getting laughed at. So check it out. So this little cap over here that I forgot even existed because this board's from 2012 and I don't really work on it much anymore. See this? See this little cap? See this? This is on the SMC data line that's shorted to ground. Watch this. Watch this. This is funny. Check this out. You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I could have done to fix this? You know what I could have done to fix this entire time? Is this? Check it out. This is all this board. This is all this board needed. All I needed to do to make this work again was boop. And now it's going to work. Oh, man. Oh. Oh, I am dumb. My God, I earned that. I really earned that. Yeah. That was dumb. That was dumb. I genuinely earned it for being an asshole. Yep. 0.353. I'm stupid. I got humbled. As Iron Sheik would say, I got humbled. That's a humble sandwich right there. I got a humble sandwich. That was so dumb. Being an asshole is a human right, says Damaged Industries. Oh, it's a human right, I say. I am dumb. That was dumb. Like, I should get a different iron than this. This is the 2032 iron with a pencil tip. Oh, man. That was hilarious. And the funny thing is, people watching this are going to go, can you just remove that little cap to make my battery work? I think that's been the problem like twice in 4.5 years of fixing this specific board. In 4.5 years, this is like the second time it's been that cap. And it just so happens to be on the stream where I say all that stuff. You mad? I am mad, bro. I am mad beyond belief. I am raging, screaming. I'm mad, bro. There's no way around it. I'm incredibly mad, bro. But I'm mad at myself. Is the power supply showing a current of 5.1 amps, or is that just the set current? That's the currently set current. I'm angry. I'm angry, but I'm angry at myself. If anything, hopefully this stream teaches you that I'm an idiot. Hopefully you watch this and realize, wow, if this idiot can do it, then so can I. That's the reaction I try to elicit. That's why I try to keep out a lot of the editing. I was talking about this with Paul Daniels yesterday. Like, if I could have done something different on YouTube, on one hand, maybe it would have been hyper-edited, straight to the point, editing out a lot of the, the stuff that I don't think is necessary, but at the same, no cursing. But at the same time, I kind of wonder, if people thought I was smarter than I was, would they try to do this stuff? Like, seeing that I'm an idiot, I think is kind of, it helps people that are intimidated or that think that they're not good enough. I want them to realize that I'm not good enough either. Maybe that'll be a little inspiring. Hell, somebody as dumb as I am can do this, then so can you. Not saying you're dumb, but you get the point. Sit the F down. Capacity. All right. Seeing the battery is a human right. So I changed the SMC for no reason. Man, Paul would have caught that. I know Paul would have caught that. Paul's smart. Paul, who works here, would have caught that immediately. I'm dumb. We're going to wait for it to cool down and see if it recognizes a battery. I skipped the visual inspection. I sure did. I sure did. Don't skip the visual. All right, we're going to see if this works and then leave. Watch it not work when he turns it back on. Why are you working on Saturday? You're the boss. The boss works every day. The boss works every day, and that's something that we don't get anymore in this whole proletariat, bourgeoisie, Marxist bullshit that they teach in college. It's like the work. That's one of those things that used to drive me up a fucking wall when people would talk about stuff like the working class. That's such an appeal to vanity, I think. Like this idea that, this dipshit at college that speaks in front of people. Been a while since last donation, but money is good, so here. Well, if you don't have money, you don't have to give it to me, but I genuinely appreciate the $10. But the idea that this, like, sociology professor douchebag that pretty much gets to say what they want and grades you. Like that's the real that's the real worker. You know, the person that risks their finances and their sanity and their free time and their 20s and their credit and their life and their to start a business that like works 80 hours a week. No, like that's the ruling class asshole. But like the person that comes in and punches the clock, like they're the real hero. No. Yes, I'm the boss. That's why I'm here on Saturday. That's why I'm here on Saturday. That's why I was here for 12 hours a day from 2009 to 2010 to 2011 to 2012, 2013, and 2014. Like finally started to take a little bit of a break, and then 2015 back to it. And yep. Anyway, I forget where that got inspired from. But with this, give me 12.56 volts on Pepe Bush G3 Hot. 12.56 volts is a human right, I say. All right, where's my battery that I can use to test this thing with? See if it stays on a battery. Come on, charge my battery. Recognize my battery. You turned on automatically. That's not good. All right. Do you see my battery? Wait a second. There's no ISL on this board. I didn't put the ISL back. I should put the ISL 6259 back on the board. That's what I should do. How about we put... Today is really not a good day. So, let's put this on there. All right, let's put the ISL back on the board. Let's trade. I'll come fix MacBooks and you can coach Odyssey of the Mind, says Jessa. It's the same thing with CEOs and all those other positions, you know? I personally would never want to be the CEO of a large company. Because think about it. When you think about this whole like bourgeoisie, proletariat horseshit, I mean, one of the things to think about is what does it take to have that job? You know, what's required is saying, I make $100,000 or $200,000 or $300,000 a year, and I work 8 hours a day. But that's not good enough for me. I need to make, you know, $8 million and work 80 to 100 hours a week and have my name listed publicly to millions of shareholders who will scream at me and call for my head to be chopped off the moment the share price goes down by more than 3%. It takes a particular kind of lunatic, in my opinion, to decide to become a chief executive that makes that much money. And they do work that I don't want to do. They do work that I do not want to do. All right. Get on there, ISL. Okay. And we're going to push it down onto the board. Make that thing flat. Ooh. It's like you are. Working class. E. And what the hell, that cap should go. That cap doesn't seem like it has a happy place to go to anymore. Okay. Do we work? I'm going to wait a second for that chip to cool off. And then we're going to turn it on and see what we get. All right, first thing we're going to do is see what we get on Pepe Bus G3 Hot. Do we get 12.23 volts or 12.56? Beautiful. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to plug in a working battery. And see if it's taking charging current. Now I can't have the multimeter and this on the computer at the same time. They use this USB to serial bridge, and what I find is when you're using technology that was really mainly for 80s and 90s, and you try to use it on 2010s, 20s hardware, it doesn't work very nicely. So I've tried on many computers. I've done my best to try to get power supply plus meter to show up on screen at the same time. It never lasts. So unfortunately, the only thing I can do here is try zooming in on this and see if you can see it. And it is blinking, which is annoying. But as you can see, it's consuming charging current. This board would typically only consume 0.5 to 0.7 amps if it was not charging the battery, and it's consuming 2.6. And also, as I'm going to show you in a moment, it is, check this out. We've also got an orange light on the charger, which means that the problem is fixed. So, what is the moral of this story? Is that sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm very, very, very wrong, and I'm not going to edit this video. It's going to stay up as it is so that you learn from my dumb mistakes what not to do. And, yep, so I ate my humble sandwich, and now I'm going to go get myself some lunch. I am quite hungry. I guess it's time for dinner now. It's, what, damn, it's 6 o'clock or so. So I'm going to get out of here. And as always, I hope that you learned something.